Hello guys, today we are going to talking about how we're gonna handle the while loop in the C++ programming language. In the previous lesson we have talked about the for loops or switch case mechanisms or the if-else loops in the C++ programming language, and so in this lesson we focus on mainly the usage of the while loop or do while loop, okay? And so, in order to create a C++ programming language or code, we need to add the IOStream or input-output stream file in here, like this one. And so, in the C++, we have the namespace mechanisms. In order to what? In order to include the whole the class in a one namespace. Okay, this is a special area on the C++ programming language or its compiler. Okay, and so std is a specific namespace in order to what? In order to use the some classes which is given in the IOStream library. Okay, and so in every programming language we have a starting point that's showing in the main file, and so this is the specific address values on your RAM storage area. And so if we have compiling session or if we compile our code, and so this code generated a assembly code into the into the form of the executable file or .exe, and so this main is representing to representing to the starting point on these locations. Okay, and so if I check my program, hello guys should be written on this page. And so I strongly advise that firstly you need to compile this simple code in order to in order to obtain the full information about whether your code is okay or not. Okay, and so I have the control 5F button in here in order to debugging session in here, and so in the terminal page or lines we have the hello guys output session. Okay, and so everything is okay. Firstly, this is the basic program which I had to test my algorithms in here, but we need to give some specific information about how we're gonna handle the while loop. Firstly, in the C or C++ programming language, we have three types of loops. And so one of them is a for loop, the other is a while, and the other is the do while loop. And so what's the purpose of using of the loop cycle in the programming language? We have a specific information about what is algorithm is on. Okay, and so this algorithm should be run on this code page in order to repeated times at the same page or at the same code. And so the compilers gives us a way to create some loop condition by using specific keywords. Okay, for example the for, or for example while, or for example do while. And so you cannot use a repeatedly writing on this main page. Okay, and so in this lesson we will focus on how we're gonna handle the while and do while session on the C++ programming language. Firstly, I should remember that I should tell you that the C or C++ programming language are basically same, but with the specific feature of the class structures or the object-oriented programming notation. But in the for loop or while loop or do while loop are the same with the C programming language. Okay, you just remember that. And so firstly we need to give the first example session in here, like this one, example 1. I store all my codes in a one page, and so you can check my code in order to in order to study our lessons. Okay, and firstly we have the cout session in here in order to in order to write every code. Hello guys, and so we have this kind of code in here. Cout is a specific class in order to what the ostream functions or printing the any words or any numbers which is given in our code, and so we can print all the values in the terminal page, okay, like this one. And so if I run this code again, and so we have the hello guys. And so if we copy of these codes like this one, and so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, okay, we have 10 hello guys session in here. 10 times hello guys are printed on terminal page, okay. And what about this? We can use a standard for loop in order to what? In order to run this code like this one. In the previous lesson we have learned about how we can use the for loops, and so we can copy of all this code like this one. And so if I read again these codes, sorry, and so we should give the sum and leap points in here, and so we need to also give the what, the I value in here, in order to what, in order to represent the what's the counter values on this hello guys, okay. And so if I run this code, and then we have a empty space in here or new line characters on the C++ programming language, but the hello guys can used in the what, in the for loop in the times of the what, the 10, okay. And so we can write the hello guys 10 times by using this keyword, okay. This is the basic usage of the for loop, okay. But how can we utilize the while loop in here like this one? Firstly, we need to learn about how we can utilize the while loop in a syntaxly. And so we have a keyword like this one, the while, in this session. And so we need to give the some parentheses, open and close parentheses, and so we can give the brackets in here like this one. And so all the condition should be given at this code like this one. For example, we have a specific parameters in counter value is equal 0, okay. And so the counter is equal to the 0, and so cout hello guys is written on this page, okay. And so this is the Boolean selection, or 0 or 1 should be obtained by coming from this session, okay, because this compare operators, and this gives us a bool type variables or the values, okay. And so the Boolean selection should be given at this moment like this one. And so if the counter is equal to the 0, and so this while loop is what is run on the code up to now, up to infinity, okay. And so if I run this code again, and so the hello guys is written at the infinite times on the what, on the terminal page or the execution of the main function body, okay. This comes to the end, goes to the end, or endless notations. But how we can control this selection? By using this analogy of the for loop. Or how can we create a sum 10 times hello guys loop? By using the while section in here like this one. And so I need to copy of all these things, and so we have the another codes like this one as an example 2, okay. And so we should remove these whole codes like this one, and so while usage should be transmitted into this line. And so how can we create a 10 times loop in the what, in the while loops, okay. And so firstly we need to set this selection as an equal to the 10, but we need to give the not equal operators on the what counter. And so if we have the counter value is not equal to the 10, and so this code is run every time, okay? And so what have I done in this code? If I rerun again this code, and we have the hello guys is what all the times printed on the terminal page. But what about these things? If the counter is equal to the 10, and so this code is running, and so if I run this code again, and then we have nothing, because in the while loops we have the counter value is not equal to the 10 is always correct, and so this code is run. But if the counter is not equal to the 10, and so this condition returns the false value, and then this while loop cannot be applied or cannot be run on these code selections, okay? And so how can we create the 10 times hello guys loop in here? Firstly, we need to add the counter values in here, like this one. The counter should be added in here, but in every time we need to update the counter value, like this one, okay? And so if I rerun this code, and then we have the what? The nothing, because the counter is not always equal to the 10s, and so I should change these not equal operators in here. I'm gonna show you these errors values in here, because if you write a simple code, or if you write a complex codes in your CPP programming language, and so you will make same mistakes like me, okay? And so if I run this code again, and then we have 10 times hello guys printed on the terminal page, okay? And so this is how we can use the while loop in the what? In the C or C++ programming language, okay? This is the second example of our lessons. And so I need to copy off all these things in order to what? In order to create the third example in our lesson, okay? And so we should learn about the Boolean selection or the Boolean effect on the while loop conditions. Firstly, we should remember that the while loops or the if loops or conditional operators or the loops or the switch case is run or performed on this programming language by using what? The comparing operations, okay? And so what's the Boolean value? Boolean value means that the logical operators, it gives the 0 value or 1 value, okay? And so how can we use these informations in here? Firstly, I should change this while loop as an equal to the 0, okay? What is that? If we have this kind of operations, there is no syntax error in here, don't be afraid, okay? But this is syntaxically correct. How? But we need to analyze the semantics of these 0 operators in here, in the what? In the real-time application or runtime performance, okay? And so if I run this code, the code gives us a nothing, okay? And so if I put the 0 value into the while loop, and then we have nothing. How can we evaluate these results coming from this programming language or this code? We should say that the programs is always to what? Check this value. Whatever, you should write it, or you can write it, or you write it or not, okay? And so every conditional operators in the C++ programming language should be checked by using these things, not equal to the 0, okay? And so your program, if you are using the conditional operators like the while, for, or if value or switch value, always be checked by using these diagrams, okay? And so compiler adds these mechanisms automatically to the what, to your loops, okay? And so if I have this kind of code in here like this one, this correct or semantically can be used in this code. And so if I run this code, and then we have nothing at the what, at the terminal page, okay? And so this is the first example of this while session. But if I'm pushing the one value in here, one is a literal, or it means that it's a constant value, and so the number or the value of these things cannot be changed in the real-time operations or the compile time operations. And so 0 as well as this is the same feature of the one value, okay? And so in the maths or in the programming language, 1 cannot be equal to the 0, which means that if we run this code, and so we have a endless loop or infinite loop at the C programming language or the C++ programming language. You should see that the counter values is updated in here up to what? Up to the integer values limits, 4 billion blah blah blah, okay? And so what's the result of using this code? This code creates the endless loop or infinite loop, which are used mostly in the embedded systems or the real-time systems, okay? As you are a mechatronic engineer, you should utilize these values in the what? In your embedded systems, okay? You should remember that. And so assume that we have an endless loop or infinite loop. We can use these notations like this one, okay? But we may also use another selection in here like this one. If I'm removing these values by using only the one value, and so the programs gives us another endless loop or infinite loop at this moment, because if I'm putting this comparing values or not, every compilers which is written in the C or C++ programming language adds this comparing values into your conditions, okay? This is how we can use the while loop in a endless loop or infinite loop forms, okay? And so this is the third example of this session in here. And so I need to copy a whole of these codes like this one, and so the 4 should be added in here. Okay. In the fourth examples, we should analyze the counter value and not equal to the 10, and so or 5 if we have using these codes, and so we have 5 hello guys loop at this moment, okay? And then how can we create the nested loops or loop inside one loop in the CPP programming language? If we have this kind of information in here like this one, and so we can create the for loops in here like this one. Integer I is equal to the I 2 and I plus plus, and so we have 2 loops at this moment, which we are calling to the nested loops, okay? And so one loop is given in here and 2 loop is given in here. It's the problem in the embedded systems or the programming language, because the nested loops has a many cost on these things, which we call the complexity of your code. Your code complexity is increased to the n square, okay? And so we have lost many times in order to run this code, because we have the 5 in here, 2 in here, and so 10 loops at this moment. But if you are using till 200 values in here, and so 1 times 1000 times is run this loop, okay? Especially in the image processings and the signal processing, so we will always utilize this kind of codes, because in the image processing we have the x value or y value or vertical axis or horizontal axis, okay? And so the every pixels is given in the 2 times 2 or 2D dimension matrices, okay? And so if you are using this code notation in here like this one, or if we want to analyze any picture in the pixel forms, and so we should utilize this kind of codes, okay? And so I change my code in here, and so the cout value should also be given at this moment. Hello guys in here, hello nested loops should be added at this moment, okay? And then if I'm run this code, and so this code gives us the hello nested loops at the beginning of this while code, okay? And so hello guys is written on this page, and then the counter values is upgraded, and so counter is equal to the 1 now, and so if the counter is not equal to 5, which is the 1, and so this code is rerun again in our codes, okay? And so the hello nested loops should be increased at this moment like this one, and so the whole code is running like this kind of informations, okay? And so if I have this kind of notations in here like this one, and so the nested loop is added in the terminal page of these code selections, okay? We can utilize, or we will utilize, these nested loops on the while selections. This is basic structure of how we can use the while conditions, okay? But we have another application level on the while loop section. For example, if we have, or firstly we need to give some other codes in here like this one. For example, we should ask the users give a number to be written on the hello guy, and so we can give some values in here breaking points like this one, and so we should define the breaking points value on these notations, okay? And then the case is assume that we have a asking code like this one, give a number to be written on the hello guys on the terminal page, okay? And so we can use this code in order to select how many times these hello guys be written on the terminal page, okay? We can use this code like this one. And so if we have a while loop in here like this one, the counter value is not equal to the breaking point, okay? For example, we have the cout value in here like this one, hello guys, and leave, and so the counter plus, okay? And we should give also this counter value in here, okay? And so if I'm run this code, the program asks me to give a number, okay? For example, I give 2 value in here, and so hello guys is written on the twice again in the terminal page. But if I'm rerun this code like this one, and so if I'm giving the 101, and so the 101 values on seen in the terminal page, okay? this is how we can use the while loop to be executed the some codes on the C++ programming language. Okay, and so if you are using this analogy or this code, you can print the hello guys on the terminal page, or you can control any autonomous systems, okay, or the flight controller or the biomedical systems in an embedded way. Okay, and so how can we iterate this problem in order to what? In order to create an endless loop by using the while selections. Firstly, we need to give some other codes in here, like this one, and so the 6 value in here, and so the while loop can be given like this one. Okay, if I transfer the codes into the other while loop, and so how can we do that, or what's the result of this code to be written in this form? If I'm running this code, and so give a number to be written on the hello guys should be given at this moment, and so I'm pushing 1, and then the program asks again to what? To obtain the breaking point value. For example, I can give the 23, and so I can give the 10,000 values in here, but the programs does not end because the while value is in the what? Is in the endless loop forms. Okay, and so if I'm giving the 4 value in here like this one, and so we have the another points. Okay, and then what? If I'm using this code, we can create some conditional programs in here, like this one. For example, if we have this kind of information in here, 0 value should be assigned to this code, or in here, like this one, the breaking point is not equal to the -1. Okay, and so if I'm pushing, or if I'm compiling this code, and then I can give the 2 value in here, 3 value, and 4 value, and 5 value in here, but the codes gives us to what? The hello guys in the one page form. Okay, and so we need to reinitialize the country value at the beginning of this code. Okay, this is so-called the bug in what? In your programs. Okay, and so if I'm run again this code, and so I'm pushing 1 value in here, 2 and 3 and 5 and 7, or 1000s, or 100s, or 2, or 4, or 5, or 2, and so we can run this code or perform this code in this case, but up to now we should give the breaking point value in here, like this one. And so if I'm pushing the -1 value, and then the hello guys is what? Is going to the endless point. But the while value is break this code in this point, because the breakpoint is -1, and so breakpoint is not equal to the counter values in here, and so this code is running, and then we cannot have the output value of these things, or the program cannot ask us to give a number to be written on the hello guys in this time. Okay, okay, and so we need to reorganize this code by using the if conditions. Okay, and so the breakpoint is equal to the -1, and so we need to terminate the whole while value or while loop in here, like this one. And so if I rerun this code, and then 1 value, 5 value, 3, 2, 4, 1000s, 5, 3, 2, and so at the beginning of this code or end of this code, -1 should be given at this moment. And so what's the proceed code in this section? the proceed code is that the breakpoint if equals to the what to do -1, and so break the whole code or these loops, and so the code is running to what, the return 0 values. Okay, this is how we can break our code from the what, from the endless loop or infinite loop selections. Okay, this is how we can utilize this code selection in here. And so in the next example, we need to create the what, create the array examples in CPP programming language. We should, because we always utilize the whole what, whole the array values or the sum structures in the what, in order to calculate the what's the summation values or the mean values or the variance values or the some given mathematical operations on these array values. Okay, and so how can we use the while or for or the other loops on the what, on the array structures on CPP programming language? And so we need to create some other examples by using this terminology in these examples. Okay, so firstly we need to create some array in here like this one. Okay, and so in order to initialize our values, we should select this bracket 0 statement. Okay, and so we need to add this integer I value in here, I 10 I plus plus. Okay, and so we can search the whole integer values in here like this one, the cout value a gives in the form of the what, in this form, and so a I value can be assigned at this moment. And then we have the 10 times 0 values on the what, on the a 10 times array structures. Okay, and so if we assign the n values in here like this one, a I equal to the I can be obtained from the what, from this code 0 1 2 3 blah blah blah 9. Okay, and so how can we create the while loop in order to obtain to what, these characteristics in here? And so we can create another loops like this one, the counter equal to the 10, or we can assign the any defined value in here like this one, max array constant is equal to the what, this times, and so this times, and so we can assign this selection. Okay, and then we can initialize the counter value is in here like this one, integer counter is equal to the 0 at this moment. And then what, if we have this kind of information in here, we can copy all of things in here like this one, but I is given in the what, in the for loop selections. Okay, and so if we have this kind of information, we should use the counter value in here like this one. Okay, and so we should also give the counter in here or I value, counter value, and so the counter value should be assigned to this code. Okay, and then we can reach the whole elements of this array structure by using what, by using this while loop. And so at the end of this code, counter should be updated. Okay, and then we can terminate all the for loops in here like this one. And so if I'm run this code, and then the array is initialized with the what, the 0 1 2 3 4 and blah blah blah 9 value. Okay, and so this is the first example of the what, the array structure on the what, on the updating the whole elements, okay? But we can use the another loop selections in here, like this one. We can copy all of these things in here, and so we can utilize the pointer on these notations, okay? And so in order to use the pointer structures, we can update the whole values by using asterisk operators, okay? And so this is the inside operator in here, and so in order to utilize the pointers in here like this one, A is the first address values of the what of these selections, and so we should update the whole the counter values in here like this one, okay? And so in order to write the whole the elements of this A value in here, and then we should update also these selections, okay? And so if I rerun this code, and then the whole values should be updated by using this terminology, okay? This is how we can utilize the pointer structure on these selections. And so how can we calculate the whole values of this array structure in here? This is how we can utilize this selection in here by using the simple algorithms, okay? And so the counter values should also be given or updated like this one. The counter should be equalized to 0 value in here. And so if we have the A value in here like this one, and so we can add the int sum value in here in the initialization value of these things 0. And then if we have these sum operators in here like this one, sum should be updated by using what? These notations, okay? And so the counter is updated each time, okay? And so at the end of this code, the cout value should be given at this moment, summation value of an array is equal to the what? The sum values, okay? This can be used in order to what? In order to calculate the total values of the what? The summation value, okay? This is equal to 45, okay? And so how can we iterate this code? By using the algorithm techniques, okay? And so we remove the counter value in here, and so the counter should be increased at this moment like this one. And so if I run this code, and then the summation value of an array should also be updated because the counter value is updated at this moment, okay? And then if we have this kind of information in here like this one, the whole the pointer values are increased by using these techniques on the what? On the summation operations. Or we can add some other codes in here like this one. The sum should be expressed by using these terms, and so if I'm using these techniques in here like this one, and so the summation value is also updated in these positions, okay? And then what? How can we calculate the mean values of these notations in here? Firstly, we need to give the sum cout session in here. Mean value of an array can be given by the what? The sum divided by the max array notation in here, okay? But we need to firstly cast this sum value into the double one, okay? Because this maybe have a floating value. And so the mean value of an array, it should be equalized to the what? The 4 times 5, okay? This is how we can utilize the while value in here, or while loops at this moment, okay? And so how can we iterate this while loop? By using the what? By using the pointers in here, okay? The pointers can be used in here, but in the end of this code, everything is related to the string operation here, because the string has a null character in here, but in the integer values we don't have the null characters, okay? But if you have the string like the one like the Mehmet or İşcan or the hello, and so we can search or we can iterate this char array in order to what? In order to write the codes in a one simple algorithms by using what? The while loops. Okay, and so we can terminate our code in here like this one, and so we can move to the example 8. Okay, and so we can express all the codes in here like this one, and so we can initialize the whole this a array or name array in here like this one, and so we can assign the every values into the what? Into this name. Okay, firstly we can use the Mehmet in here like this one, and so if I run this code in the char elements, and so we don't have any error value in here. Okay, and so how can we put the values in the name? We should give the int counter value in here like this one, counter 0, and so counter is not equal to the 10 value or the max error value in here like this one, and so the cout value, or we can use the printf function in here like this one, the %c or characters value can be assigned at this moment, and so we can use the new line character in here like this one, and then we can express all the names in here like this one. Okay, this is how we can utilize the values in what? In the counter usage or the while loop selections. Okay, and so if I run this code, and then the Mehmet is written on this page. Okay, or we can use this code without new line characters, and so Mehmet is written on this page. Okay, or we can turn into the what? Into the null character points on the what? On the pointer algorithms. Okay, and so if we have this kind of algorithms like this one, the name counter values is equalized to the what? The null characters. Okay, and so if I'm pushing this code, and so the Mehmet is also written on this page, because the name character or char array should contain the what? The new line at the end of this Mehmet. Okay, this automatically process should be obtained or should be added into the what? Into the string notations. Okay, and so we can utilize the while loop like in this form. Okay, and so this is the last example of this session. I hope you have learned about how we can use the while loop and the for loop, and what's the difference between the loops and conditional statement, and so how we can use the array structure on the while selections or the conditional loops. Okay, see you next week, guys. Okay.